Maybe, but it's also like a reality of sometimes you could have done things differently, but the outcome might have been the same.
I want you to share a bit more of your personal, beyond self-care, is there a spiritual practice you believe in? Is there a internal process? How do you, keep on going if somebody is on this path? And how do you push forward all the time, every time?
Gosh, that's a good question. I'm not a overtly religious person. I believe we all have our callings. I believe there's higher powers that, guide us on our paths and things like that. I think it's just knowing, for me, it's knowing if I'm not in the corner for these people, who's going to be? And I think the best thing that I can do for them is show up with empathy and compassion and realistic expectations, and knowing that I will be there to advocate for them. I think, the biggest thing for me is to step back though for myself and go, you can't solve everything. Don't ever overpromise. That's the worst thing anyone can do. Because you don't want to let people down, and if you overpromise, you are going to let people down. And that's where trust gets broken. And I think kind to yourself and everyone else, and just know you've done the best you can. If I can go to sleep at night knowing there's nothing more I could have done in this situation, there's nothing more I could have done for this person, that helps. It's hard when there's situations that have happened, that I've talked about earlier, and, you kind of sit there going, oh, could I have done this differently? Could I have done that differently? Maybe, but it's also like a reality of sometimes you could have done things differently, but the outcome might have been the same. That young man I spoke about, whilst it breaks my heart still to this day, I've kind of been able to come to terms with the fact that, even if maybe we hadn't dropped to the drop-in model and things like that, I think he severely, did not want to be here. Mm-hmm. And that's hard to accept, but I don't think there's anything else I could have done in that situation. And I think that's really important as providers when you genuinely, because some people aren't genuine, but when you genuinely know in your heart of hearts you did everything you possibly could have, then you've done your job, and that's all you can do at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And it's really hard, but just empathy, compassion, not just for participants but for yourself as well, is really important.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing the stories and these conversations.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.